Okay, so we're on to our last section of Romanza. We've just finished the full bar at the 7th fret, and now we go back to material that feels a lot like the beginning of the piece of music. So the beginning, we have 7, 7, 7, 7, 5, 3 with open strings in our arpeggios. We skip the 7, 7, 7, but we have two measures that feel just like the first section. So 7, 5, 3. And then 3, 2, 0. So those two measures are the same as the second and third measures of the full piece. Then we're going to have about 3 chords in a row. So the first is this little kind of piece of a B7 chord. So it's 2nd fret on the 5th string with our index finger. So finger 1, 2nd fret, 5th string. 3rd string for finger 2 on the 2nd fret, so 2nd fret, 3rd string with our 2nd finger, and then ring finger on the 1st string, 2nd fret. So it's all 2nd frets. You kind of skip a string between each one, and our thumb goes to the 5th string again like it did earlier in the piece. And the melody here is all 2nd frets. So we're already holding 2nd fret with our chord. So all we need to do once we've got our chord set up is our arpeggio pattern. So P and A together, M, I, A, M, I, A, M, I, and then that chord is done. So in context, it sounds kind of like this: 7, 5, 3, 3, 2, open. Kind of prep your chord, grab it, change that thumb note. And then we go on to our next chord, which is only one note different than what we're holding right now. So my 1st finger is all that changes, and it just goes back to the 1st fret and over to the 4th string instead of the 5th. And then our thumb on our right hand will follow it there. So thumb is on 4th string, index finger's on 4th string, 1st fret. And then the melody in this section goes 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret. So I'm already holding 2nd fret with my chord. So I do my arpeggio pattern starting with my thumb. I only have one finger left to grab the 3rd fret, so that's going to be our pinky there. So it'll be our chord. Add the pinky for the 3rd fret and then take it off again. So that gives us a melody of 2nd, 3rd, 2nd. And then we've arrived at our final chord of the piece, which is kind of one of those chords where it doesn't always make the most sense to have the whole block there. You can actually build this one note at a time if you want to. There are lots of fingerings for this chord that are effective, so whatever feels most comfortable for you should be fine. I tend to like 1, 2, 3 right in a row, and the frets are 1st finger, 2nd fret on the 4th string, 2nd finger, 2nd fret, 5th string, and then ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th. So you can think 2, 2, 3, maybe going down from 4, 5, 6 string wise. 4, 5, 6, 2, 2, 3. You can also flip the index and middle finger and do it this way. You can do 2nd, 3rd, and pinky. A million fingerings work. They all feel pretty good. I like, though, typically 1, 2, 3, just as long as you can aim them safely. You might have to scooch your 1st finger back just a little bit to fit your 2nd finger if you do that fingering. So know that if you do finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, that finger 1 needs to be a little bit behind where we would normally want to play the fret in order to get that spacing to work. And for this one, this is the only time in the piece, this final chord, when our thumb plays on every arpeggio. So what it does is our thumb is going to walk from 4 to 5 to 6. So that's on every beat and every arpeggio. The melody in this part is all open strings, so we don't have to worry about it too much, but we'll make our chord, and then our arpeggio in our right hand will go P and A, M, I, P and A, M, I, P and A, M, I. And if we build the chord, 1 on the 2nd fret, 2 on the 2nd fret, 3 on the 3rd fret, then it sounds like this. And then we end the piece by letting go of the chord and just playing the open E's, thumb and ring finger together. So the piece ends like this: 2nd fret on the 4th, 2nd fret on the 5th, 3rd fret on the 6th, let go, and E's, and that's your end. And then if you want to start over, you play the 2nd fret, and slide into the beginning again. So here's that ending section. So it goes 7, 5, 3, 3, 2, 0. I make my first chord that's all second frets. I make an adjustment to the first fret on the 4th string with my index finger, and then my thumb also moves to the 4th string. I need my pinky for my melody note on the 3rd fret. And then I can slide my index finger up a little bit, maybe prep my chord or build one note at a time as I play. So I'm going to do it building as I play. 2nd fret on the 4th, 2nd fret on the 5th, 3rd fret on the 6th, and then let go and play E's. And then start over if you want to. So one nice way to play this piece is to actually pause for all the chord setups. It's kind of a nice way to practice and allows you to, kind of trains you to think ahead for each kind of tough movement. So I'm going to play through it once like that right now. So we'd start off the piece like usual. 8 with our pinky, pause, and do our setup. So we have two things to set up. We have a half bar to set up while our pinky stays put in our left hand, and our right hand thumb needs to change to the 5th string. Then we can play those two measures. And then pause and do our next setup. So now it's the full bar with our middle finger at the 8th fret on the 3rd string, and our right hand thumb goes back to the 6th string for this chord. And then we go, P and A together, 7, 8, 7, 11, 8, 7. And then we go back to easier notes, 7, 5, 3, 3, 2, open. And then we prep again, all our 2nd frets, starting on the 5th string, and our thumb again goes to the 5th string. Pause and shift, prep everything we need. Our thumb goes to the 4th string. Our index finger on our left hand goes to the 1st fret of the 4th string. And then we know we're going to need our pinky in just a moment. And then we go to our final chord, 2nd fret on the 4th, 2nd fret on the 5th, 3rd fret on the 6th, and end. Okay, so this week I would suggest always pausing before any of your chord setups or big changes in either hand, so that you're prepped and you've already thought through the whole next chunk of the piece before actually playing through it. Sometimes what happens is students will play through the piece and will be just like their hands will be just ahead of their mind, and what happens is it gets more and more frantic because you're starting to freak out a little bit as you play through. So just make sure your head is always in control and a little bit ahead of your hands. Don't let your hands get ahead of you. Yeah? Okay, have fun. And that's pretty much it for the piece, isn't it?